What I'd like to do this morning, I'd like to use as my framework the 7 mental laws that govern the brain and show you how you can rewire your brain, show you how you can actually change even the way that you think. Isn't that good news? The first law is the law of cause and effect. Effect follows cause with unvarying degree all through nature, and never should the effect be blamed as the cause. I had a lady come to me and she said, I found the cause of all my problems. I've got chronic fatigue syndrome. I said, no, that's not the cause of all your problems. That's actually the effect. Even when someone says, I've got depression, do you know you can't just get depression? Depression is actually an effect. It is not a cause. There's a very interesting book by an American doctor named Dr. Neil Nedley. It's called Depression: A Way Out. Every chapter starts with someone else's story, showing how they conquered depression, using some of the simple principles I'm showing you now, and some of the simple principles I've been showing you all week. Dehydration affects depression. Late nights affect depression. So you can see what we're doing this morning. We're pulling those 8 physical laws we looked at this week, and we're pulling the 8 mental laws together. We should always have our detective hat on. Do you know, recently I consulted a private detective, and I said to him, oh, you're a private detective, so am I. I love the detective work of discovering why someone has a certain condition. It's Newton's 3rd law of motion. To every action, there is an equal and an opposite reaction. Proverbs 26 verse 2 states that the curse causeless shall not come. You know what that means? No problem happens without a cause. There is always a reason. In fact, to say someone just has something is to defy basic science. So we should always be looking at the cause of a problem. And sometimes the problem for depression could be too much coffee, dehydration. So that's the best place to start. When someone comes to me wanting help with depression, do you know that's what I do? I said, start drinking more water. Start easing off your coffee. You could stop your coffee straight away, but you might suffer. A clear indication that it's not doing you any good. I say start going to bed early. Start limiting your technology time. Start seriously assessing what you're watching and the effect it's having on your brain. Start exercising. But I don't feel like exercising. Yes, that's your limbic emotional brain. But what do you want? I want to feel good. I want to conquer my depression, so I will go and exercise. Can you see how that all threads into each other? The second law is the law of choice. And the law of choice, as you can see, is determined in that I want, the frontal lobe part of the brain, your guardian, where your goals are. This is what you feel like doing, but this is what you want, so that influences your decisions. And when you're well slept, well hydrated, well sunned, well exercised, well fed, that I want part of the brain is a lot stronger. But we've got something else coming here, and that's habit. You've heard of habit? Habit can be our best friends or our worst enemies. To understand habit, I'm going to draw your brain cell. Here's your brain cell. It's your nerve cell. And we have 1 trillion of these in our brain. They're the dendrites, or the receiving stations. And this is the arm that comes out of the nerve cell. These are the little filaments on the end. They're the boutons. Here is the next nerve cell. Our nervous system is an electrical system, and it does not touch. They do not touch each other. They communicate with each other via little chemical messengers in the brain. And these little chemical messengers jump from cell to cell. So the chemical messengers come in, they're encapsulated in the nucleus, and then they're sent down the arm. And they come into the boutons, and then they're released out to the next nerve cells. Now those messages can be travelling anywhere between 2 and 200 miles an hour. Wow, in a crisis, anyone that's been in a war zone, they know you're moving, and you're moving very fast. Now, even though you're just sitting here, your brain cells can be moving fast because you're considering everything that you're hearing right now. And when you are hearing the things you're hearing, your brain is processing it through your I want. In fact, you're probably hearing some things and you're probably thinking to yourself, I won't have that coffee anymore. Or maybe you're hearing some things and you might start to say, yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to go to bed earlier tonight so that I will get up and I will. Can you see it all threads through that? It's an amazing brain. In fact, science still doesn't totally understand the full functioning of the brain. If someone says, do you have a computer? You have. You've got the most amazing computer on the planet, which is the brain. And did you know that everything you're hearing today, you will be processing. You'll be processing through what you want, through your goals. You'll be processing it through your intellect, reason and judgment. And you'll be putting in certain spots. And when you go to sleep tonight, ideally you'll be able to get to bed by 9 tonight. Whoa, what a joy. Someone's been keeping you up all week. You haven't been able to get to bed till 9:30. When you go to sleep tonight between the hours of 9 p.m. and 2 a.m., then your brain starts processing and filing the things that you heard today. It's an amazing process. How does it know where to put it? It knows where to put it because where your want put it. So if you hear that coffee's no good, in fact, it interferes with those neurotransmitters in the brain, causing a chemical imbalance in the brain. If you hear that and you think, well, I don't care. I want my coffee. I will have it. When you go to bed tonight, it's going to put it in the spot, I will continue to have it. You see that? But if you're convicted right now and think, nah, I don't want an imbalance in my brain. By the grace of God, I will stop. Can you see? It's probably all happening in your brains right now. I can't read your brain. No one else can read your brain. Only the God of heaven can read your brain.